Okay, after you have your title block set up and your title block is applied, you can now start thinking about the easy way to start laying out a very simple multi-view drawing. To do this, what we're going to do is I'm going to go to a blank drawing sheet, and then I'm going to go up to where it says Place Views. From this Place Views tab, this is where I can go ahead and I can select my base button up top here. This is the base view button, and that's going to allow me to start laying out specific views. So utilizing this particular feature, right now I'm selecting one of the parts that I need to lay out, and then I want to be able to basically move this over to an area. And if the part that I don't have open right now, if it's not showing up here for me, what I can do is then I hit this button right next to this selection area, and it's a little file with a it's like a magnifying glass. If I hit that button, then I can go into my file structure and I can go in and find it. So if I wanted to hunt back through here and find a different file from either a student's file or one of my files, I can go ahead and do so. So if I come into here and then I'm get into looking at different files, and if I want to say I want to use this file number 16, that'll work. If I say, okay, Inventor's saying that this is the front view that Inventor is calling the front, because that's when I modeled it and how I modeled it, but that's not the view I want to have as my front view, because if I continue forward with this and I come up and I drop my top view and I come over and drop my right side view, keeping my scale 1 to 2 and hit OK, what happens here is the layout that I receive gives me several hidden lines. And Inventor puts those hidden lines in because this would be the proper understanding and orientation of the model. But as a draftsperson, you want to have the fewest hidden lines possible. So if there's a better orientation that I can utilize that does not show as many hidden lines, that's the one I want. Because showing hidden lines then gives areas that cannot be dimensioned to, because in practice you do not want to dimension the hidden lines. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete the views that I have. And I'll grab base again. And again, I'll go in, I'm going to look for that part. So I grab the same part, I hit open. And instead of utilizing this view, what I'm going to do is use my view cube. And I like to use these tabs right here, these little arrow tabs, and it actually turns then for me. So even though this is saying bottom and it's upside down, what I'm going to do is utilize this view by taking and pushing it over to the left a little bit. I'm going to come up and I'm going to use this to drop my top view, and then come over here and use this to drop my right side view. With these views placed sort of in a rough position, then I can come back and hit the OK tab, and now I have my views placed. Notice I don't have those same hidden lines because the first view, the front view that I utilized, is the view that gives me the projection for my top and my right. So Inventor allows you to also, after you set up principal views, if you wanted to make an isometric view of your front view, you can use the projected view tool from the create bar. By selecting the projected view tool and then selecting the front view, this can actually then project what would be the isometric view of that part. So you can pull this up to a different position and then select it, then right click and hit the create button, and then that will give you an isometric view of that part. For this assignment, the isometric view is not necessary, but if you wanted to add it, you may. For this particular assignment, you need to make sure that the views are roughly centered on your page and that the spacing in between these views is correct and equal. I'm not going to measure it, but it should be very clear that they are set up equally.